You know you're in for a good time when you see good old Queek Headtaker as he quickly scurries off screen there, and a Doomedwheel, not even just any Doomedwheel, but the Regiment of Renown Doomedwheel, which has to be one of the most overpriced monster machines in the game. Anyway, we're here with the replay from Qualiduck, who's taking Queek and a front line of Rat Ogres with some Storm Vermin, Sword and Shield, so he's got a very heavy, kind of narrow Skaven build. To help pad out the numbers, we've got a Plague Priest here with Summons and with Pestilent Breath. Also got some Secret Agent Eshin Triads out on the side there, both sides actually. And that's pretty much it. Relatively tall and narrow Skaven build, all things considered. On the opposite side for the Tomb Kings, got Arkan the Black here on foot. Yep, looks like on foot. We've got Bone Giant, Ushabti Greatbows, Regiment of Renown, Casket of Souls as well, front line of Skeleton Spears, and some Skeleton Warriors in the back, plus Sepulchral Stalkers over there on the side, currently stocked up, and without any short-range units, it's not too dangerous to kind of pull up close with these Rat Ogres, as long as they don't just blunder into the spears. Should be fine. The Doomedwheel currently hiding in the woods from the Chosen of the Gods. Yeah, Doomedwheel's, the comparison to Iron Demons is actually just horribly hilarious. Doomedwheels have less armor, less HP, they're not unbreakable, they don't have any resistances, you can't control their shooting attack, which is actually okay. I mean, the shooting attack itself is okay, as opposed to the Iron Demon shooting attack, which is actually really good. And it's just in every way worse, and also more expensive, so really just not great value at all. Currently, it's kind of blasting into the flank here, doing some damage, but also taking some damage from the Bone Giant, but that's just fine. Nice distraction as these Triads pop their concealment bombs, get around the flanks here. This one unit getting tangled up with the Sepulchral Stalkers. The Tomb King player going to try and pull those away there and keep those moving, but the Triads are actually fast enough. They can kind of keep up. So we're going to see the Rat Ogres and the Storm Vermin fighting in the front line together. It should be quite a potent combination for the Skeletons to deal with. Spears just by themselves, or even just the regular Skeleton Warriors by themselves, honestly, would be a lot for the Rat Ogres to deal with their relatively low leadership, but with this heavy front line here, they'll do just fine. And the Triads also sneaking in here, getting right onto the Chosen of the Gods before the Skeleton Infantry have a chance to respond here. Arkan Spirit Leeching down the Plague Priest as he summons up some Clan Rats into the back line to try and fight and continue bogging down the Bone Giant so it can't keep the damage on the Doomedwheel, which really, I mean, the Doomedwheel's purpose as a chariot is, yeah, to kind of just run through infantry and have a grand old time, but chariots themselves right now are not the best unit type. And, I mean, Doomedwheels certainly, if you really, really put in a lot of micro with them, can be cost-effective, especially if, like Icket Claw on the Doomedwheel, for example, where you have the ability to also cast spells to get some value back and use some other abilities. But just the Doomedwheels on their own, as cool as they are, probably one of my favorite-looking units in the entire game. Just absolutely ridiculous. They are pretty terrible, to be honest, but there you go. Doomedwheel's little side skating attack there, doing some damage as this unit of several units of skeletons just crumbles away. They have done a decent job in defending their line here, but yeah, the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep taking significant damage. Triads also getting worked down pretty good, but Queek now is activated, and it's not a situation that Arkan wants to be in at all. Queek is a very decent duelist on foot. Not the best by any means. In fact, he's actually pretty much a meme at this point, but he is decently cheap, and his power output is quite good, especially Dwarf Gouger active, Trophy Head's active, so Arkan's stats are in the dirt, while Queek's almost 600 weapon strength, not quite. Bonus versus infantry probably puts him over that. But anyway, he wears off relatively quickly, but still, he's got the Warp Shard armor passive, -5 melee defense and armor in an AoE. Yeah, 35 bonus versus infantry. So that is a significant amount extra, especially on the melee attack. Arkan's definitely getting beat up pretty badly, but of course he's got his pocket Pokemon summons here of skeletons. So pulls them up, gets a nice Spirit Leech on Queek, and then something comes in and Terror Routes him. I guess the Bone Giant is close enough to affect him with Terror. So he momentarily disengages. That's going to allow Arkan to get to safety, stabilize his leadership a little bit there. But overall, things are, balance of power-wise, heavily in favor of the, yeah, the Tomb Kings. But that's mostly because the Bone Giant, I think, is still so healthy. The Sepulchral Stalkers really have done absolutely nothing. I mean, there's not really a lot of targets for them to fight very effectively here, but it might have been helpful to have them kind of collapse into this center pocket if they could, but Tomb King player prioritizing his micro elsewhere. It's just had them kind of running away the whole time from the Eshin Triads, which again, in their 50 speed, Eshin Triads are 49 speed, even with strength in numbers active, so if their hit points go down at all, they will actually get even faster speed and be able to just fully keep up. But regardless, even with their charge animations active, are likely to just be getting continuous hits on those Sepulchral Stalkers, so yeah, definitely would want to pull them over towards this main line engagement here. Not sure what's causing that little hiccup and stuttering here. Not the most comfortable thing to be watching, but there you go. We'll get in close, and hopefully that actually solves the problem. Watch as the Doomedwheel plays a bit of bumper cars with the casket, but with these single entity artilleries being surrounded like this, they're going to obviously not get any value back and slowly be dragged down over time. A little bit of spirit leeching, or doom and darkness even on these pit fighters, trying to rout them off, perhaps preserve what's left. Chosen the Gods, though, are pretty much gone. Their leadership is basically done for, so it's not looking great for the Tomb Kings right now. Yep, looks like the casket's about to go down here, and the Storm Vermin have been very solid as a front line here. You know, I mean, you'd expect them to. There's not really a lot that's super threatening, and I actually quite like the pick in this matchup. These kind of mid to elite tier shielded infantry, famously like Saurus in this matchup for Lisman. I remember in Warhammer 2 for quite some time you'd see just mass Saurus builds in this matchup, because Tomb King's anti-infantry tools, well, they have some decent monsters. Their AoE damage in terms of magic is not that great, in particular against armored units. And just in general, you know, their mid-tier infantry, Tomb Kings, is probably one of the worst ones. I mean, they're good for their role, but they tend to not do well against other mid-tier infantry because of the lack of armor. Mid to high-tier infantry, that is, and Storm Vermin kind of fall right on that line where they're maybe not quite elite, but a little bit above mid-tier. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that in the comments down below, but certainly very effective in this matchup, just cutting up skeletons, no problem. Providing a nice line for the Rat Ogres to sit on and not take too much damage themselves. Beautiful work with the Triads, one of them 1599, probably the MVP of the day for the Skaven. Yeah, Queek getting some pretty good value as well. Again, he's pretty cheap, so it's nice to see. The Doomedwheels, we'll do a little comparison in a second just to show you how terrible they are. But yeah, Doomedwheels are pretty awful, to be honest. Arkin the Black here has got some pretty good value to Spirit Leeching characters. The Bone Giant's an interesting one against Skaven. I don't necessarily... I mean, on the one hand, I don't hate it, because if the Skaven try and outshoot you, though, I feel like it's just going to wilt the Jezzails. Like, I'm not really sure. It's generally more against, like, monsters and cavalry, better against those type of targets. So, yeah, I'm not really sure what you would be shooting at it with in this matchup, but it did manage to still get some decent value. I mean, overall, very solid unit. Sepulchral Stalkers is also one, like, I kind of see to a degree, but they need to be with your formation, not out on the side there alone, and then, yeah, not getting chased down by Triads the whole time. But there you go. So just to give you a quick indication of power creep from Warhammer 1 to Warhammer 2 to Warhammer 3, rather. Yeah, I've got the Iron Demon here, of course, 1100 points. Everyone knows you can get the Hellbound for an extra 150. But let's just see base cost. So 1100, you get all this stuff, you know, unbreakable, decent armor and everything. And then the Doomedwheel for an extra 350 points. Can't help but laugh because of how ridiculous this is. Honestly, it's, you know, 1100 HP, 1100 less HP, 20 less armor. I mean, not unbreakable, right? Technically faster, but in practice, that extra mass and speed ability that the Chaos Dwarf engines just get for free. Where is it? This one here. More power also gives them more speed, and especially the mass acceleration allows them to get out of situations which the Doomedwheel cannot. Doomedwheel's shooting attack cannot be aimed and is significantly less powerful, especially on the base version. Then you can go all the way up to the 1700 Regiment of Renowned Wheels of Doom that we saw here, which is just, yeah, it shoots 2 projectiles. Then that's literally it. So, I mean, the Doomedwheel has fallen way behind in terms of power creep. Probably shouldn't even be as expensive as the Iron Demon. Honestly, you could probably increase the price of the Iron Demon up to like 1200, 1250. Reduce the Doomedwheel down to like 1100. Reduce the Doom Flayers, which is didn't talk about too much, just for fun. you know, reduce them down to like 950 or 900. And I think that would help the Skaven machines a lot, because right now the weapons teams for Clan Scry are absolutely killing it. Have been for quite some time, but the actual war machines, these guys leave quite a lot to be desired outside of Ikit himself, of course. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.